Ladies and gentlemen, it's season 2, episode 27 of the Daily Intermission podcast. I'm in studio joined by Nathan Brown. Nate, how we doing, bud?
Doing good. We are back. We are back, baby. It's been many moons.
3 episodes of guests, which, we'll have to thank Prakash and Pete Blackburn and Joshua Perry for coming on. Fantastic guests. Hopefully you all enjoyed the interviews. I mean, incredible insight in their respective fields. Really enjoyed them, Nate.
Yeah, for sure. I was awesome. I loved talking to Prakash. That was sweet. Just getting an inside look at tennis like that. Just got me so much hooked too. Like I found like after we did the interview, I've just been binging the Miami Open now.
Yeah, for sure. My biggest takeaway, I think, from Prakash was just the way he speaks, motivationally and talking about, your personal code and what you're meant to be and what you envision yourself in life and coding yourself in that manner. I mean, Prakash, like you said, and he's such a well-spoken individual, and he's down at the Miami Open right now, hanging out with Jimmy Butler and Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah,
or Kyrgios.
Yeah. So the Australian guy who likes to hit it in between his legs. But no, he's doing his Prakash around the world, and he's doing really well. But yeah, I'm coming off a little COVID stint. Spent the majority of last week at home isolating, so it was a tough week. But back on my feet. Nate, I wanted to talk about undergrad universities and different games. I was kind of, surveying my Instagram feed, and there was typically faculties either have a big hockey game that attract a lot of the university population, or whether it's a residence rivalry. And obviously here where we're located, there was a big, kind of rivalry game going on.
Yeah. I don't know if they still do the game though, do they? Like, I don't think there's an actual...
No, there's no hockey game. And especially, I know down a few hours away, there used to be a big hockey game as well. They don't play the hockey game anymore, which is unfortunate.
They used to just get rowdy as hell, right? Like,
oh my goodness, man.
Fights and...
Yeah. So, you're talking about, say 2,000-3,000 students who have been drinking, and it sounds like there's 20,000 fans. It was honestly insane. So obviously I played in our residence rivalry when I was going to school and doing my undergrad, and I wanted to tell a story. So I was it was in my 4th year. We used to take the week off. Like the week would come of the game, and we would just absolutely write it off. All the team would be hanging out, and so my parents had gone to Mexico. So I didn't live far from campus, probably about a 10-15 minute drive. So I had the entire team over all week. We had like mattresses down in my living room. Like the entire team was staying there. It was quite the experience.
Bloodbath.
It was for sure. It was an animal house. That's for sure. Team bonding was through the roof. The boys were ready to rock and roll. But that Wednesday night of the game, I decided to have a couple adult beverages. Probably overserved myself, and I had a lovely lady back to the house.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah. So I went into the hot tub, brought her out to the hot tub, had a glass of wine. I'm a classy individual. I ended up smashing one of the glasses of wine and stepped on it on my way out.
That's my worst fear.
To towel off. And so when you're drinking, obviously your blood is thin, and I'm telling you right now, it was leaking. So it leaked all the way up my stairs, onto my balcony, into my home, and my living room was draped in white carpet. It looked like a full-on murder scene. But I'm staying in that living room, so it kind of walks into the living room out the doors, and there's mattresses everywhere. So anyway, we spin the clock ahead 6 hours, and there's 6 RCMP officers on my back deck. The mattress we're staying on is facing them. Anyway, the neighbors had come to check on the house because the lights were on, the car wasn't there. I'd cabbed there late at night, and then they saw this scene out back. So I had to explain to the RCMP officers that there was no murder.
But it was my foot bleeding.
It was my foot bleeding. Anyway, it was definitely the worst hangover wake up I've ever had in my life.
Oh my goodness, man.
That's my story of the...
That'll set the anxiety high.
Oh my goodness.
Just waking up to the police?
I remember I was like kind of talking to the girls, like, do you want to go talk to these guys? Because I don't know what happened. I don't know why they're here.
Why's all that blood there?
No, my foot's wrapped in like 5 towels, but no, we appreciate the guests coming on the last 2 episodes, but hey, we got a lot to get into. We've missed a lot. We're getting into quarter 1 NHL talk. Evgeny Dadonov, probably headlined the trade deadline for a voided trade.
Yeah, this is a crazy situation, man. I figured that the GMs would have a little more understanding of just like the contracts.
What's interesting is the NHL registry doesn't record no trade clauses.
Okay.
So I think that's something that's going to change in the future.
Yeah.
But the NHL registry, the people that you phone into and register and make the trade legit, they don't mark down the no trade clauses or modified no trade clauses. So that's between the teams and the players to have an understanding of.
Right. So, and for anyone who's unaware of what happened, so Vegas traded Evgeny Dadonov to Anaheim. He had a no trade clause. I think it was like a small one, maybe like a few teams. And Anaheim was on his list, so the trade got voided. And then there was a big mess. They were trying to find like in the contract where it was. Vegas was saying Ottawa didn't include it, right?
Didn't notify them about the.
Didn't notify them, yeah.
Yeah, so there was some blame put on Ottawa, but yeah, eventually, like I said, I mean, the trade was voided, and for a team like Vegas, who's just pinned up against the cap, you know, they needed to move out this money, but Evgeny Dadonov is still a Vegas Golden Knight. He's on a heater.
7 goals in his last 9, and he OT winner yesterday.
Yeah, went bar down yesterday. So Evgeny Dadonov's looking good.
If they can get into the playoffs and like activate all those guys, man, they're going to be so stacked.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be outrageous.
Absolutely. But it's a full-on race out there in the Pacific. We'll get into it. Nate, just kind of analyzing the trade deadline. I know we went over it previously with Pete Blackburn, but were there any teams that you thought did a good job? Any overpayments? Anything that you thought was surprising?
Surprising, not really. I liked what Boston did with the Hampus Lindholm. I like him a lot. He looked good yesterday as well, the game I watched.
His first 2 games have been incredible, man.
Washington, I was kind of hoping they would do a little more. I think they're kind of screwed. The defense is just not there, and I just don't think it's going to happen for them. I love Florida going all in on it, though, grabbing Giroux.
Absolutely.
So that's I don't think they overpaid either. I think they got a pretty good deal for him.
I don't want to start the rumor mill too early, but Claude Giroux is building a house in Ottawa.
Is he? Mm-hmm. Holy smokes. Well, he might be coming.
Yeah, I mean, it would make a lot of sense.
He's from Gatineau, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just across the river there. So.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you know, looking around the league, I think the Atlantic Division did as much as they could. You got Tampa bringing in Hagel, and I mean, they paid a lot for him.
Yeah, a lot.
But yeah, I mean,
he's having a good year though.
Florida bringing in Sherratt and Claude Giroux, and Boston bringing in Hampus Lindholm, and yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs bringing in Mark Giordano, and I'm not really sure about the Colin Blackwell character. I know he's kind of a young, speedy right winger, but kind of a journeyman. But yeah, we'll see what happens, man. That Atlantic Division is an absolute free for all right now. I mean, there's going to be a lot of shifting around, especially if Florida can kind of come back to the pack a little bit. It's going to be interesting down the stretch.
Kind of disappointed Chychrun or Kessel didn't go anywhere. I was really rooting for that Kessel return to Boston. But.
I think it's smart for Arizona to hold on to Chychrun. Obviously, they're not going to be good anytime soon, but it's just such a great contract. He's such a great player. And, you know, you need to have some pieces to be, you know, to minorly competitive, and you've got to attract fans somehow.
Yeah.
So
they're going to have a few of them there in the Arizona State rink next year. So
5,000.
They got to fill that place up.
5,000. I mean, the student body will fill that up.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know how weird it's going to look on TV? It's going to be such a odd camera angle, and just like the rink is going to look so weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still can't believe this is going on. This is an NHL team. They're playing in a university rink.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But the Pacific Division, Nate, I mean, it's been what a race it's been. You've got Calgary and Los Angeles who are at the top of the division, but then you've got Edmonton and you've got Vancouver now and Winnipeg and Winnipeg's not in that division, but just in the West in general. I mean, you got a ton of teams fighting for those last few spots, and you know, Vancouver feels like they've got an opportunity, and you know, a team like Dallas in the Western Conference is kind of on the fence of making it in. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens out west. I mean, we've got the 8 teams that we said with Pete are solidified in the East. I mean, there's going to be no changes, just positioning.
Yep.
But man, Calgary looks good. Edmonton looks good. Edmonton, I'm surprised they didn't go out and get a goaltender, to be completely honest with you, Nate. I mean, I don't know if they can do it with Koskinen and Mike Smith. I just think goaltending is going to be the biggest issue for them.
Well, you look at it, even last night, I caught the first bit of the game, and it's 3 goals on 6 shots on Koskinen right off the start. And it's like, okay, well, here we go again. Yeah. Like, they're going to have to do something in the offseason, you'd think. Like, but then again, I feel like I've said that the last 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, you would have thought they would have done something at the deadline. I mean, there was goalies available, and it's hard to watch because you got the 2 top players in the league. But yeah, I mean, we'll see with Edmonton. I still think that if they if they get in, which I think they will,
Yeah.
they could make some noise. You never know. You never really know. You just need to catch a heater with goaltending.
Yeah.
There's been bigger surprises in the net for sure, and you never really know what you can do with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
For sure.
I wanted to talk about David Pastrnak, man. This guy's been on an absolute heater. He's got 12 hat tricks. He's 25 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
12 hat tricks in the National Hockey League. This guy's such a thoroughbred scorer, man. He's such a great player. And this is the first season, really, where he hasn't played with Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand. I think it's just such a testament to how much of a player he was. And I didn't give him his full credit because I said he was playing with Bergeron and Marchand and that those guys, their chemistry and unselfishness is just, it's at the top of the league. But Brad Marchand's been playing with Taylor Hall and Eric Holla, and man, his productivity hasn't slowed down at all. He's looked incredible, man.
Yeah, he had kind of a slow start to the year, but he's been so hot lately. I remember at the start, I was like, oh, geez, like maybe he was, because even when you mentioned it, I was like, maybe he was like kind of, fed off Bergeron more than I thought he did, Bergeron and Marchand. But yeah, he's on an absolute tear, man. You have a hat trick yesterday, right?
2 days ago.
2 days ago
Yeah,
for the Islanders, yeah.
Not against the Islanders. Who did they play? Who did they beat? Tampa.
Right.
He had a hat trick against Tampa.
That's right.
But no, I mean, the Bruins have been incredible. They're storming up the Atlantic Division, and this is a team, man. You got Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark. It's a duo, but Jeremy Swayman's their guy. He's an incredible goaltender. And I was listening to some of the Toronto media talk about if there was a Boston-Toronto series first round, talking about the goaltending, who wins the goaltending. They said Toronto won the goaltending. What? If you look at the defense, who wins the defense? In my opinion, Hampus Lindholm, Charlie McAvoy, Brandon Carlo, and Matt Grzelcyk's a better top four than what the Toronto Maple Leafs have. Obviously, it might be a tad biased. And then you've got the best defensive centerman in the NHL. He's having his best statistics season on the defensive side of the puck, and Patrice Bergeron. If you could shut down that Matthews line, have fun with the second and third line of the Boston Bruins.
I was actually looking at that in the standings yesterday. I was seeing how they kind of matched up right now. So if playoffs started today, I just don't think there's a shot for Toronto in that series. It's the same thing every time they play. Well, but it just seems like Boston's from the games I've seen, they're just it seems like they're dialed in.
Well, they're so defensively sound. It's crazy. They don't give up a lot of chances. And I haven't looked at the advanced stats, but I listened to a guy by the name of Mike Johnson, shout out, and he talks about how sound they are defensively, one of the top teams. And then you've got the top end talent to match Toronto's. For sure. Maybe not to the extent of Matthews and Marner, but when it comes playoff time, these guys have the games that adapt and have seen success. So we'll see. I mean, that's a biased take. I know a lot of the Toronto fans will disagree, but I think Boston's not the team that Toronto wants to play in the first round. But is there a team that Toronto wants to play in the first round? They're probably going to be underdogs in every series, but a series against Boston. I think the books would probably make Toronto favorites.
Yeah. No, they definitely would. I mean, they're always cup favorites too, every single season. And it's like they haven't won a round. But just to touch on teams you'd want to play if you were Toronto, I think the only ones you'd really want to play would be like the Rangers, maybe the Capitals, and maybe Florida. Florida just because they're unproven, but I don't know. I like what Florida brings. They're also just buzz out there, man. For sure. I think dialed.
It almost looks like to me, I've only watched a few of their games on the road and I've watched a few at home. At home, it just seems like they're a different monster. Yep. I was watching them last night in Ottawa and it didn't look like they were all together. And they had a big comeback, obviously, and ended up inevitably winning the game. But and Bobrovsky stood on his head, man. That guy played incredible last night. But yeah, we'll see, man. Yeah, a team like everybody's given Florida a lot of credit. Obviously a very scary team, but if we want to talk about, unproven, like we say with the Leafs, and unproven with, like we say with the Rangers, what have they proved? Nothing.
Well, not much since '96, as Pete Blackburn told us.
Exactly. So, no, man, it's exciting. We've got the playoffs just around the corner, Nate. The Norris Trophy's heating up. I did want to touch on the Norris Trophy. I mean, you got Roman Josi. Should he be in the Hart Trophy talk?
I mean, maybe, man. I mean, he's not. What is he on pace for 100 points? Mm-hmm. It's absolutely ridiculous. You got. It's just gonna. I don't know who's gonna win. Like usually, it's a little more. You kind of have the understanding of who's gonna get it. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you got Hedman, who's just Hedman. You can literally have him there every year.
Best defenseman, yep.
Exactly. And then you got Makar, he's got 24 goals, which is just outrageous.
Yeah. Well, he's played 2 less games than Josi, and he's 6 points back.
Yeah.
73 points.
Yeah, but he's not getting as much hype as Makar's usually gets.
Yep.
If that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty torn. I feel like Yossi's gonna get it.
Yeah, I feel as if too, and I think it's deserved. Like he doesn't like think about Makar and think about the team that he's playing on, and think about the problems and mismatches that other teams have to match up against. When I think about the Predators, I don't think of them as a very scary team, and I think of a guy like Roman Josi as being their best player.
Yeah.
By bar none,
another factor that would go into it is I feel like a lot of people probably didn't have Nashville making the playoffs this year.
Oh, well, that's just it. Yeah,
and then you have Yossi having a crazy year.
I think that's why it might park him into the Hart Trophy running as well. But Nate, we're going to move into quarter 2 of season 2, episode 27 of the Intermission podcast. We're talking National Basketball Association, the NBA. New York has changed laws and will allow Kyrie Irving to play home games. This is substantial news for the Brooklyn Nets. This is their second best player. I mean, 1B. In my opinion, he's played just tremendously this season. I mean, Kyrie Irving's been such a monster, and they're gonna get him at home, man. This Brooklyn Nets team, this is a team I'm eyeing them to come out of the East. This is a team that's scary. I mean, they pulled a lot of pieces from Philly. Even Seth Curry last night went off. They absolutely dismantled the Heat, who have been struggling, which we'll get into. But that's big news for the Brooklyn Nets, Nate.
For sure. What a circus it's been this whole year. It's just been over and over again. It's like, okay, you can't play. You are playing. Not that he has been playing, but even the mask thing we talked about one of the prior episodes, when he's sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah. And
now it's finally changed so he can play. Because remember when it first came out that he wasn't going to play home games? We were like, what's he going to do what are they going to do in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Is he going to go play the road games? But yeah, just to touch too on, you said this is a team that could come out of the East. This could be one of the first, if they stick around that 8 seed, this could be the first 8 seed that maybe ever goes on a run in NBA history.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that East is just what are they? They're in 8th place, but I think they're only 8 games out of first. Those first 4 teams are all within 1 game of each other. And it's just the Eastern Conference is as tight as it gets. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't want to be playing Brooklyn at any point in time.
Yeah, they're only 7.5 back of first.
Yeah, so
which is crazy
with the team that struggled that much. And I mean, you don't even have Ben Simmons back in the mix yet. So we'll see if he can play. And obviously, expectations would be low with him. But it was an interesting case in Miami this week. Jimmy Butler, there was a timeout called by the Miami Heat late in the game. They haven't been playing well. And Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of the Miami Heat, had a huge exchange, yelling at each other. It was unbelievable. I'd never seen the likes. It looked like they were going to have a fist fight. Eric Spoelstra slammed his clipboard. Jimmy Butler, man, this guy's a bit of an interesting character. Obviously, in a sport where it's judged by the amount of championships you've won, that's typically how your legacy is built in the NBA. This is a guy that hasn't done anything in the league. He walks around with just so much entitlement and gets almost in a fist fight altercation with his head coach.
Yeah, it's crazy. What was the thing that came out in the media too? He said to the coach, he's like, yeah, you guys couldn't play with me, or you guys couldn't play now, or something along those lines.
I'm not sure. I didn't hear that.
Okay.
But that's, pull
it up. It was him and somebody else. I can't remember. Somebody else brought it up, and then he said to the coach and stuff, he's like, yeah, you guys couldn't play right now, or something like that, or you wouldn't have made it in this era or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, it's this guy he is a bit of a circus act, and everywhere he's been, he draws so much attention. But I think the Heat are still going to be a scary team come playoff time, but they've been struggling. They're free falling out of that first place. I think they've lost 5 games in a row. So it's going to be interesting to see, where they end up when all the dust settles. So I think we're just under 10 games, 10 games away from the playoffs starting. So it's going to be wide open there in the Eastern Conference. Yep. Nate, I'm not sure if you saw Josef Nurkic, the center in Portland.
The fine?
He got a $40,000 fine this week. He was walking off the court. There was a young fan kind of giving it to him. Looked like a college kid, and he took his phone and he biffed it and got right in his face. It was, I mean, I had never seen the likes of a player hucking a fan's phone. But it's interesting, man. What do you think of fan conduct and chirping and getting in people's faces? I feel as if we see it a lot more in the NBA. In hockey, there's a bit of a gap. You can't really get that close to players, but in the NBA, you're right there. And yeah, you really got to watch your conduct. But I'm kind of on the side with Nurkic. I get that you can have drinks, and I get, the chirping can be, there's definitely a fine line with what you can say and what you can do. But
didn't that come out and say that he was chirping his grandmother or something? Yeah. So it's I think that's fairly deserving. She passed away from COVID. I think that's fairly deserving to throw the phone. But it seems like there's been so many things lately too about, what was it? Did you see the Devin Booker one where this guy's like chirping him down the sidelines? And he's just like, shut up, pussy.
Yeah, and Kevin Durant
one,
sit the fuck down and shut up.
Yeah, it's like, holy smokes.
And they get fines, but like, I mean, like you just like, honestly though, like you're coming, like I like yelling and screaming at games and chirping and doing that stuff, but if they're face to face with you and you're in striking distance, like, man, like, you know, there's one thing, I guess, chirping during the game of play, but anyway, I don't agree with it. And obviously too, you know, you're serving alcohol. He was probably overserved. Justin Thomas ran into that situation again too.
Yeah.
The other week I think it was at the Valspar.
The guy telling him to do the bump and run.
Yeah. He said the greens are fast, do a bump and run. And he looked at the guy like, are you effing kidding me? Do you know who I am? Like, sit down and shut up and let me play golf.
It's like, thanks for the tip, buddy.
Yeah, he ends up hitting a flop shot. It was unreal, but you know, you're not bumping and running from a downslope. Anyway, it's just ridiculous. You know, fans, they gotta watch their conduct. And I think that if you say anything borderline, you get banned. Like, kick them out and ban them. Like, you know, this is a state of privilege. You're at a game. It's an entertainment site, but I mean, these are the people performing. Like, don't get out of hand here with the chirps. But Nate, we're moving into the playoffs. Like I said, 9-10 games away. Going to be electric. The NBA, you know, playoffs are going to be super exciting, especially, you know, as we get down to the nitty gritty of things. The first few rounds there's always some sweeps and some blowouts, but there's going to be some fun series.
Yeah, I think the East will be a little more parity this year, though.
For sure.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't know how many teams are going to get swept coming into the East. Like, when you look at it. When you get 76ers Nets.
Depends on who wins those play-in games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And how the shuffle finishes up top. Like, if I see Milwaukee kind of ending off in that one position,
plans could change.
Yeah. All right, Nate, we're moving into the halftime show. Season 2, episode 27 of the Daily Intermission podcast. We got Where's That School? It's been a popular segment on our TikTok with March Madness here. So what we're going to do is we're going to give each other schools that are located in the United States. They're pretty famous D1 schools. I at least did ones that you'll heard of. You got some ones that I most likely know?
I've got you've definitely heard of the schools. It's just going to be...
Yeah, where they're at.
Yeah,
well, I'm expecting an 0 for 10.
Okay.
0 for 10.
Okay. So, you might be able to get one. I can see you grabbing one of mine. But then again, anyway, let's get into it here.
Yeah, you want me to start off?
Sure.
Princeton.
Oh my God, dude. It's in New Jersey.
Wow.
Princeton, New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. There's
that 0 for 10.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm straight up, I had it in mind.
Oh, okay. I was going to be like, holy smokes. Were you
scared
I was dialed all
last night.
Yeah.
All right. United States University.
I'm going to say Washington, D.C.
I respect it.
Maryland.
It's San Diego.
Is Washington, D.C. in Maryland? Is it considered in a...
It's like its own... D.C. is like its own little thing.
Yeah. Its own state?
No. It's
what
like,
state
it's just
would
like,
that be considered?
It's not a state. It's like
it's a district.
Yeah. I'm not sure what state. It might be in Maryland. Yeah, I think it is in Maryland.
Okay, yep. Okay, so where was that, sorry?
That's in San Diego.
United States University.
Yeah, there's also American University. That's in Washington.
I've never heard of it.
No.
Brown.
That's in Mass, right?
No, it's in Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Close by.
Columbia.
Ooh, staying in the Ivy League. Columbia. Give me New Hampshire.
New York. It's a default.
It is a default. Brigham Young University, BYU.
Oh, shoot. I know this is like Central. I think. I don't think I'm BYU. Oh, man. Iowa?
It's in Utah.
Okay. Shoot. Okay, so it's not as central as I had anticipated. Johns Hopkins. Oh. Johns Hopkins. That's the name of the hospital somewhere too, isn't it? Yeah, there's something. There's something there you're on to.
Is that New York?
That is Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, gosh. Wake Forest.
Ooh, Wake Forest. I actually think I know this one. Is that Virginia?
North Carolina.
All right.
There's a lot of schools in North Carolina.
There
like
is.
A lot of like big schools.
There is. George Mason.
That's got to be George Mason. Oh. New York.
Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
That's in Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice work.
I'm gonna pull one more up here just for you, just because.
Because we both had Princeton.
Yeah. So just give me a sec. Yeah, I got lucky on that Vanderbilt one there though.
Did you?
Well, like I've just like happened to have seen it before.
Okay.
So it's like.
I was gonna be like, well, you pulled that out of your.
No, yeah. There's no way I just guessed it. Yeah, it's like I know 1 in 50.
Virginia.
1 in 50. Oh shoot.
Do you think if you could sit down and write down all 50 states, you could get them?
If I wrote down all 50 states,
you could name all 50.
Oh yeah, I can do it.
Down?
Yeah, I can do it from left to right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there was a Sporkle. If you ever seen that, I used to do that. It's a good way to like learn that stuff. Holy smokes! All these ones that I'm pulling up here are just like have the name in it. Come on.
It's all good.
Yeah. I
take
mean,
the win
at this point.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
All right. Yeah.
That's a tough game though for all the people listening. I mean, obviously.
Okay, go
Purdue, Illinois,
Indiana.
I think we've done that.
Yeah.
I see, like, even when we do them, I don't remember.
No,
them.
100%.
No.
That's what someone asked me on live the other day.
Yeah.
It was one of the ones we've done. They're like, where's St. Peter's? I was like,
yeah.
Jeez. I haven't got a clue, fellas.
No, exactly. And we'll talk about St. Peter's in quarter 4, but we got quarter 3 coming up. It's PGA Tour, and it's Sam Burns winning the Valspar Championship for the 2nd straight season. This Sam Burns guy, man, is absolutely incredible. I mean, not getting enough love. Honestly, he was a little wonky the week before I think it was the Arnold Palmer. And no, it was the Players' Championship. And on the final day, he didn't look fantastic, but comes back, wins the Valspar Championship for the back-to-back seasons. This guy's a stud on tour, man. This is a guy that's probably going to see on some Ryder Cups in the future. I think he's won 3 times in the last season on the PGA Tour. He's going to be, I think he's second in the FedEx Cup standings behind Scotty Scheffler. Incredible player, incredible win. That course, man, I mean, the snake pit, whatever they call it. I thought Justin Thomas was going to be the guy that takes that down, but ended up losing.
Yeah, I think that was who I had for my one and done, right? Was JT.
I think so,
and
yeah.
Ended up finishing 3rd. Yeah, I figured you'd get a little surge in the last day, but that snake pit is a mess.
Oh, man.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, the 16th, the par 4, it's like a huge dog leg. And man, the thing that continues to impress me week after week on the PGA Tour is the driving accuracy that these courses demand. And, I think about driving and hitting fairways. It's so hard to do. And these guys are doing it on par 4s that are 470 plus yards. It's just incredible. I mean, I pump these guys' tires, but this week, Nate, they're in Austin, Texas. It's a really fun course. It's the 6th year that they've played the World Golf Championship match play. So if people are unaware of the World Golf Championships, there's 4 a season. The purses are huge. It's the top 70 players in the world. Typically, they're usually no-cut events, but this is a match play event. So it started Wednesday. It starts off in a group stage in groups of 4. It's very similar to March Madness, and the bracket goes down from there. And so Scotty Scheffler and Dustin Johnson will play off this morning.
Yep.
So yesterday, and Kevin Kisner, who's been on an absolute hero, will play Canadian Corey Connors in the semifinals. I've got outright bets on both Scheffler and DJ from the start of the week.
Wow.
20-1 on Scheffler and almost 30-1 on DJ. So I've got a player in the finals for cash out.
It's an auto.
Yeah.
It's too bad you don't have they didn't match up right now on the other side, and then they both won.
Oh.
It's like, and we're rolling.
Yeah, exactly. So I can get a cash out on both of them, but I'm going to leave them both and see if I can and get them both. But this Scotty Scheffler guy, man, he's won. What did he win? The Waste Management Open. He won the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He's now in the semifinals of the match play. This guy, and he came onto the scene, obviously winning the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, but he had an incredible performance at the Ryder Cup. Scotty Scheffler's a real deal, man, and we got the Masters 2 weeks away, and I'm starting to survey the field. I'm watching these guys play as much as I can because obviously, I'm probably going to enter a couple heavy DFS contests and really throw some money around. I mean, we're going to be in Ottawa for it, but we'll definitely be sitting down and watching some. But man, who are you looking at, Nate, right now? We're 2 weeks away. Next week, we've got the Valero Texas Open, Jordan Spieth, defending champion. I'm not sure if he's going to go. Kind of not a very big event. The guys will take the week off prepping for the Masters. Then we got Augusta.
Yeah. It's going to be tough not to look at Scheffler for sure, just with how hot he's been.
Yep.
I think my one and done, I think I'm going to go Cam Smith.
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't played since he won. But I mean, the time before that, he took a couple weeks off and ended up winning. I'm not sure. Like, it's gonna be. I'm gonna be absolutely scouring for a bit because I still have, even for our one and done, I still have like Rom, some guys like that. So, I mean, Cam Smith had a good showing. What was it? 2020, finished second.
Yeah, the fall one.
Yeah, the weird fall one. Yeah, him and Sung Jae.
Yeah,
both second.
But he's so incredible around the greens, and when things get speedy and fast, I mean, he's shown in the top fields that he can play. So yeah, I don't mind that pick at all. But I'm looking at some big game hunters, like a guy like Brooks Koepka, whose game is really looking in form. Like this guy, every major championship, it seems like he plays big. I like Rory McIlroy this year. I like Jordan Spieth as well. He loves Augusta. He's a guy that 4 or 5 under on the first day, right at the top of the leaderboard. Justin Thomas is in great form. I mean, Colin Morikawa, a guy who has won two majors in his young PGA career.
DJ's ripping drives.
DJ looks fantastic this week. He's won a Masters, so
he won that fall one, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see, what Augusta brings. It's certainly the best golf tournament of the year. I mean, the music, Jimmy Nance. I cannot wait to watch the Masters and watch Augusta in fine form. And do you know one individual who's still in the field?
That would be Mr. Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods has not been taken out of the field online, so it's going to be interesting to see if Tiger makes an appearance. All signs are looking that it's not going to happen. I mean, everyone talks about how stressful that walk is on your legs, but if Tiger ends up in the field,
oh my God,
you can absolutely expect an outright.
It's going to be anarchy.
It will, for sure.
Did you see? It's hilarious too. The photos, like they put up the photo of Tiger. Then they have the one of John Rahm.
Yeah,
he's like raging a putter.
Yeah,
that's like just back sweat for days. It's like, holy smokes, folks.
I mean, we've been in that situation. It's the only one they have rights to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Masters can only get so much, right?
Yeah, no, but Nate, I did want to mention too in the MLB opening day is just a few weeks away. I've been checking in on the Jays a little bit. Jose Barrios got absolutely lit up, but Alek Manoah has been absolutely hucking heat. He's looked really good. The bats are alive and well in Toronto. They traded away Randall Grichuk, guy who I think he hit 26 homers last year. He traded them away to the Rockies, but I'm excited, man. It's just around the corner. I haven't decided if I'm going to do fantasy yet. Like, I'm thinking about it because in the past when I've done fantasy, it's been really easy to track and it kind of keeps me engaged on a weekly basis.
Sure.
So we'll see what happens. But
get the DI baseball fantasy going.
Yeah, we might have to get that going. But we'll have to throw some. We'll have to do a buy-in because that. Ensures we'll have to do a search around too. Like, I don't want people just throwing in money and not checking it. So anyway, there's always that commitment side of things when it comes to fantasy, but the MLB is just around the corner. We don't have a full quarter delegated to the MLB this week because we want to talk about March Madness.
Yeah.
So we're moving into quarter 4, Nate.
Yes, we are.
Quarter 4 of episode 2, season 2, episode 27 of the Intermission podcast, and it's been one of the crazier marches.
It's been outrageous, man. I cannot believe St. Peter's is still going. Like, I know that's just I'm kind of rooting for them now.
Yeah, first 15 seed in the history of March Madness to move into the Elite Eight. And yeah, like you said, Nate, it's been electric. I mean, the Peacocks, the St. Peter's Peacocks, have looked incredible. And I hit them. I don't really know who's making these odds right now. The books are throwing me off when it comes to March Madness betting. So the other night against Purdue, they were plus 13. They were 13-point underdogs. Obviously, I hammered the plus 13. Should have hammered the money line. Wasn't that confident in that.
No.
But man, yeah. So they've made it into the Elite Eight, and what a tremendous run they've been on. Another team, man. Coach K's final year, Duke, has found its way, and they won their Elite Eight game.
They're in the Final Four.
And they might play.
What a way to go out.
I think it would be the most electric way to be. I don't know how the brackets line up, but if UNC and Duke play in the Final Four, or if they play...
I think they would play in the...
Final Four?
Yes.
So if they beat St. Peter's today, they'll play in the final, or they'll play in the semis?
Yes, that's my understanding.
A team that beat Duke in their final regular season game.
They will.
So that is what I'm hoping for. Just due to the fact that there's such a big rivalry between UNC and Duke, and it would be such a way for revenge of the UNC win over Coach K in his regular season to get to the final. I think it would be amazing for Duke. Nate, you still got Vanderbilt in, right? Or no, Villanova.
Yeah, Villanova and Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and I was kind of. I mean, I'm only going to be able to have one team in the final.
Yeah.
Because Purdue obviously lost to St. Peter's, but holy smoke, that was a wild game as well.
Yeah, it was
tight down the stretch. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just going for Villanova. Also, I'm hearing St. Peter's coach. He's headed directly on a train to Duke as soon as the season's over.
Is he?
No, I'm making it up, but I mean, somebody's going to scoop this guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they were pumping his tires, the St. Peter's players, in the post-game interview after the Purdue game. They were like, this guy gets us, his practices are so tough, they're so demanding. They put us in situations that, we haven't seen anything, that we haven't been unprepared for. And man, yeah, like, I mean, their defense has been stifling. It's been fun to watch a 15 seed go and make this much noise. But there's only one seed. There's only one seed left. It's Kansas.
Yep.
Man, I talk about it every year about how I'm just going to go different on my brackets. Like, I don't know how to approach doing my brackets. I don't know.
I usually have a 2 seed winning just for like the reasoning is like, I assume a lot of people are going to have ones.
Yep.
So you can kind of differentiate a bit. So that's what I usually go with. And then I usually have one seed making it to the Final Four. And then I'll take a couple of others.
Yeah.
So like this year I had a 1, a 2, and 2 3s.
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
Just what I roll with, but
no, for sure. And so we'll get the Final Four on next weekend, and then we'll have obviously the national championship following. I think it's on a Monday, the following Monday. But man, what an exciting time of year it is for college hoops. And like we talked about with Joshua Perry, I would like to see football expand. Like, I know he was talking about 6 teams. I wouldn't mind 8, 10, 12.
Yep.
Just because of the madness upsets, having a team come in who's just not expected to beat Alabama and beat them in the first round. Like, just, teams that you can really get behind. Everyone loves an underdog, and we'll see what happens there. But Nate, I did want to mention too, to finish off quarter 4, the Canadian men's soccer team they lost to Costa Rica, obviously went down early in the 30th minute to a red card. So they played with 10 guys all game. They all lost 1-0. But they play Jamaica tonight in Toronto. So yesterday in Toronto, and this is to book their ticket to Qatar.
Go,
so
baby.
I think they're going to do it, man.
I think so too. They're so close. But how about that red card, dude? I was catching that. Like the yellow was like kind of soft at the start, and then the red too. Like, did you see the whole thing?
Dude.
The layout of it?
Dude, he walked by him, tapped him with his shoulder, and he dove and was holding his head. He hit his shoulder in his chest.
Yeah.
And it was like just the most subtle bump. This is why I can't stand soccer players and the injuries. Just the amount of times they lay on the field with injuries and they're not even hurt, and they get back right up and they're flying around. It is unbelievable that they get away with this type of stuff. They need to have, like, if you're going to kick a guy out of the game and put a team shorthanded, you certainly have to review that. They need to go to the sideline or put a VR camera on the ref to show him that,
to kick a guy out.
Yes.
Yeah, for something for sure.
Oh my goodness, it was absolutely ridiculous.
They made strides to like speed it up, where it's like if you're going to lay down and stuff, you have to leave the field.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, but it's like it's still not this like what you said. If you get the card and it's like you're getting thrown out for like 2 like borderline things. Like the first thing, I believe it's K. The first thing he did was like he got his like it was kind of just like a ball on ball, like they were both going for it, and then his foot kind of connected with the other guys, and he goes down like he got shot with an AK-47.
Yeah.
So he's down, and then as you said, the little nudge, like there's no shot that's a red, man.
No, and I've been kicked out of my fair amount of soccer games, and that certainly didn't warrant a red.
Greg's did though.
But I used to throw a body.
Yeah, it was actually asinine.
But we're gonna move into the post game, Nate. Fire wagon, dog water of the week. Who you got for your fire wagon?
Fire wagon. I am going Brock Nelson.
Okay, yeah, he's been on an absolute heater.
He's been in a heater, and I feel like nobody's gonna really talk about him. I'm not even a big fan of the guy, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna give him fire wagon of the week. He's bagging hatties. He's scoring. He's up to 30. So I mean, the team's got no shot, but. No shot at all.
Lou Lamoriello came out and said that he's going to be making some hockey moves this offseason, so we'll see what happens there in Long Island. But David Pasternak, my fire wagon of the week, has been incredible for the Bruins, who have been on an absolute tear. Obviously, hat trick, 12 hat tricks at the age of 25 in the National Hockey League. What an incredible accomplishment.
Crazy, man.
And David Pasternak is my fire wagon. You got any dog waters, Nate?
Yeah. It's going a little bit of a rant. It's kind of what me, you, and Richard were talking about yesterday. It's Jonathan Taves.
Okay.
Dog water, not only of the week, but of the year.
Okay.
I'm calling it out early, folks. Jonathan Taves. First off, this man has 10 goals this year. He gets paid $1 million per goal. He's absolute dust, and I think he's the most overrated player in NHL history. Probably a hot take. I know he's got 3 cups. Yeah, he's sick leader. I don't care. He sucks. Dog water of the year.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely
roast me.
He's definitely his play has gone downhill for sure.
Averages like 60 points a year. He's dust.
Yeah, it's It's tough, man. It's tough, but no, he had some great years for sure for the Chicago Blackhawks, and definitely just internationally, definitely had the country fall in love with him. But yeah, as of just recently, he's definitely, I don't know what he was dealing with last year, some mental health issues, and
It was
then
like
this
some
year.
skin thing, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, I guess it's gonna be tough to come back from missing a whole year, but
Yeah.
he's dust.
Dog water of the week for me is soccer players diving, and we just talked
Just
about
all
it.
of them.
Yeah, just like I need a little bit more toughness in the sport of soccer. I need you to fight through battles and to not absolutely embellish injuries like you need to go to the hospital every time. So that's my dog water of the week. But that'll conclude episode 27, season 2 of the Intermission podcast.